Now, ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule says his innocence in the Asbestos corruption case will be proven by the courts. 15 suspects appeared briefly in the court yesterday, and the matter was transferred to the High Court on the 11th of August. Outside the courtroom, Magashule's supporters were calling for a special conference on the step-aside resolution. Now, the Free State ANC Anti-Corruption Group says this case is important in order to open the lid on the strong allegations of rampant corruption in the province. To discuss this further, we're joined by Polediso Motshweneng, Free State Anti-Corruption Group member. Polediso, very good morning to you. Thank you so much for your time. Yesterday, we saw thousands of ANC members gathered outside the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court saying that the case that was being heard in the court is politically motivated, it's a fabrication, and Magashule is innocent. What did you make as you watched all of this playing out?
Good morning and morning to your listeners. I watched with disbelief when the brand ANC was further damaged, unfortunately, by a selfless power wielder who dragged along the ANC in his personal woes, using its regalia, using its slogans, using its status. And as a result, the public image of the ANC is further dented. And there's a perception, or it is beginning to be what the public is now acknowledging, that the ANC is contaminated by scandals of corruption perpetrated in the main by its leaders and members who contrast to what the mission of the ANC define itself, which is the one that intends to create better conditions of living for our people. Now, yesterday, I can say that those who marched to support the current Secretary General of the ANC are a demonstration of the tipping problems in our country, where unemployed individuals were shuffled to Bloemfontein to fill the streets of that area in support of a person who was supposed to be at the heart in terms of his mandate by the ANC to change the lives of these poor souls for the better. And I can characterize our province as a province that is a blueprint of corruption and state capture. In the province, there has always been a political pyramid scheme that has been hashed to siphon government money using cronies of politicians in support and with business people, scrupulous business people and officials in government. And that could only have happened when the state has been weakened to an extent that upright public servants have been hounded out and replaced with cronies whose mandate is just to come and steal money from the poor.
Yesterday, Polediso, we also heard the National Prosecuting Authority speaking about this matter and really just moving to emphasize what this case is about. We know that 255 million rand, many questions about that money and the work it was meant to do in terms of the eradication of asbestos in the province. But we also know that what was emphasized was that this is not just an oversight issue. What the NPA is looking at as they build their case, as they prepare for the matter to be heard come the 11th of August, that corruption, fraud, money laundering, these are serious matters that they will be dealing with and looking at. What then is your assessment when it comes to, you're a body that is against corruption, what is your overall assessment when it comes to those very serious charges and the reaction that we're seeing on the ground in defense of people who are accused of these serious crimes?
Our stance is that the NPA must give in space to do what it has to do without any intimidation from whatsoever quotas. It's a pity that the ANC has been used here. The trust that was previously enjoyed by the masses to the ANC has been eroded. The loyalty which the people had on the ANC has been eroded. The connectivity of the ANC with the masses is been fading away for quite a sizable period of time now. And unfortunately, the incoherent and contradictory messages that comes from the leadership of the ANC makes it possible for the people to believe that the ANC is no more a trusted servant which represents their interest. We are also saying it will be proven, much as the accused have the right to prove their case of innocence, but it will be proven that, as I've indicated earlier on, the province has always been a pyramid scheme of corrupt individuals. There was, in the past, the Auditor General's report. We are not citing this information. You go to it consistently. The past 9 or 10 years or so of the Auditor General's report have identified all these malfeasance without any person taking account of whatever that has been highlighted by the Auditor General in terms of unauthorized expenditure, which were skyrocketing each year, the expenditure that is conceived as expenditure that is unaccounted in as far as the service delivery project are concerned. So all these things, they have come to lay bare in the eyes of the public because we have been raising these things for the period immemorial to an extent that we have not been listened to in the Free State. Fortunately, the State Capture Commission came in for us to have a platform to expose what has been happening in the province.
When it comes to the messaging and perhaps the symbolism of this case and how we're seeing a heavyweight, a political leader of that magnitude and profile being roped into court, what do you believe it sends out then when it comes to the justice system in the country?
As we have indicated, let the justice system be given space and be respected by those who are at the helm of the leadership of the ANC as the ruling party. Remember, this constitution was crafted with much participation of the ANC, and we are expecting that the ANC would be the custodian of this constitution. Unfortunately, the person who's the chief executive officer of the ANC, the person who is the custodian of the decisions of the ANC, is the one that is involved in all these things. And the expectation on our side was that this is the person who will lead by example and respect the right of the ANC constitution. Much as we know, the ANC constitution must be subjected to the authority of the country's constitution. But revolutionaries cannot be measured on the basis of the lower standards when coming to issues of morality and ethical behavior. So we're expecting premium conduct from the ANC leadership, and this is the case in point that we expect from the Secretary General of the ANC.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time and your input there. Polediso Motshweneng from the Free State Anti-Corruption Group, speaking and reacting, of course, to that matter that has been set aside for the 11th of August, 8:30, as the ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule and his co-accused are expected to appear for the asbestos-related matter.